And welcome back. I'm Roby Brock. I am joined now by KATV's Elicia Dover and Wes Brown with Talk Business and Politics. We are going to talk politics, shall we?
No business.
No business today. It's all politics, my friend. Elicia, I'm going to come to you first. Let's talk about what happened with the Guns on College Campus bill, which actually expanded into something more.
Right.
And then by week's end, there were a few exemptions. Explain to me kind of what happened this week with that bill.
Well, it's now an enhanced concealed carry law because the governor walked right out in his press conference and said he signed it into law. The NRA was there. The NRA spoke about it, commended the governor, commended Charlie Collins for passing this bill. I mean, it really expands to all kinds of places, public buildings, the Capitol, also expanded to college stadiums. But as you said, there's already been some exemptions filed
for that. For UAMS and the state hospital.
Right.
And at bars and restaurants also. You know,
they get to opt out if they want to.
Right.
So.
Private places can. Public places, not the case.
And so this is kind of a messy solution. I accused Jeremy Hutchinson last week on the show of this being really one of the ugliest compromises I've ever seen in my time up at the Capitol. Does it get revisited in the interim, or does it get revisited again in the next session?
Jonathan Dismayne, who's the president pro tem, he basically said that it was an imperfect bill, and I think what you're going to see, we're going to revisit this for several years until we get a bill that's more like, I think, Arizona's, where it's pure open carry, where you can pretty much carry.
Some people contend the state's already open carry.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, you're talking about the messy part of it. There's been 8 amendments attached to this bill so far. I do think in the next session, 2019, we're going to see it revisit again.
You think so too?
Absolutely, and there's already issues being brought up that they're trying to fix really quickly before they get out of this session. I know one thing Charlie Collins brought up to me Friday is daycare specifically mentioned. They talk about pre-K, but they don't actually say daycares in it. So that's already an issue that they're trying to,
We're likely to find some other stuff. Let's move on to the Martin Luther King, Robert E. Lee holiday separation. I should play the clip for this to embarrass you, Wes Brown, but you said at the beginning of the session there's no way that was going to pass. It is signed into law now. It has been done. I'm shaming you publicly on TV. Will there be any repercussions for any of the legislators as a result of this vote?
No, I don't think so. I think you saw early on in the session there were some rumors that it wasn't going to get through, and because of, I think, some past issues where there's been some threats to some lawmakers, primarily the white lawmakers who would going to support this. But I think the fact that the governor came to at the beginning of the session, he came out front and said, I'm going to support this. This needs to be done. And he came to the committee hearings, which is unusual.
Some powerful testimony.
Yeah, and I think he really took the bullpit of the governor's office, pushed this through. There wasn't really a lot of debate in the committee hearings, and I think it's a good thing for the state of Arkansas.
You heard a powerful story about legislators on this.
Yeah, at the bill signing, the governor actually read an email from an unnamed senator, and he said that senator told him specifically, I will vote against this bill.
Right.
Later on, emailed the governor and said, after praying, I've had a change of heart. Even though my constituents want me to vote against this, I voted for it regardless.
Yeah, wow. Well, that was some powerful stuff there. All right, let's turn our attention to in April, not too far away. We have 8 state executions, at least planned at this point in time, over an 11-day period. What is Arkansas about to experience in terms of media attention on this, Elicia?
Oh, it's going to be wild. And as a matter of fact, you're going to have reporters covering this that haven't even seen executions growing up in Arkansas. I mean, this is just not something that's been a part of anyone's life for the last 10 years. So it's going to be fascinating to see this return.
You're talking about in-state, but there's going to be some out-of-state attention.
Yeah, I think we're going to see international press. We're going to see, I worked at the Tulsa World, which in Oklahoma is probably, along with Texas, has had more executions than any other state. And during the 1990s, it seems like we were having executions month by month. And the Clayton Lockett execution, which was one where the botch execution that caused a lot of the fallout from the lethal injection drugs. I've been talking to some of the Tulsa World reporters and some of the reporters there that they are totally interested in this. They are thinking about how many people to send to the, or trying to
cover all this.
Yeah, how are we going to cover this? I think you're going to get national attention, international. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, our newsroom's already prepping for this. Your newsroom's already prepping for this.
Yeah, just for the days on end of coverage, each one of us are covering a prisoner. That's their days are numbered.
Yeah, I know too. I have talked to some state officials that have already heard from some foreign media outlets that are interested in not only covering this, but finding out about companies that have business here in Arkansas because it is such anathema in their countries.
Yeah, I think that there could be some negative consequences. I think you're going to see a lot of negative stories out there. Is Arkansas 8 executions in a period of 11 days from the 17th to the 27th. People are going to come out. I think you're going to see protesters come to the state. I think it's going to be the angles of stories that we're going to have to write about is going to be extraordinary.
All right, we got to take a quick commercial break. Elicia Dover, Wes Brown. We'll be right back right after this. And welcome back to Talk Business and Politics. I am with Wes Brown and Elicia Dover. All right, we were talking before the break. We have talked guns on college campuses and beyond. We've talked the Martin Luther King, Robert E. Lee holiday separation. We have talked the upcoming state executions. What of all of those things, or any of those things, do you think that they will be part of Asa Hutchinson's legacy as governor? Will one of those things be the standout thing that could define his governorship?
I think the Martin Luther King, on a positive point, can be part of his legacy. The executions may tend to go toward a negative kind of connotation. I think guns has already been kind of our legacy, and I think we're a Second Amendment state, and I think that'll continue to be. But those other two stories, I think, on a positive and a negative end, are going to be the stories that kind of drive his legacy.
Yeah. What do you think,
Yeah,
Elicia?
I agree. I think executions will certainly be a point that stands out, but there may be something that hasn't even happened yet that will be a defining moment for our governor.
We still talk. I mean, Mike Huckabee, I think, who was the last governor to oversee an execution, was obviously Lakeview and that whole education decision a big part of his legacy, but many of his executions and some of his leniency in the prison system were certainly part of his legacy too. All right, we've got a few minutes left. I want to hear from both of you. We need to make some predictions. You need to tell me a few things I don't know. Let's lay some things out there. Now, Wes, I don't want you to predict anything dealing with the Martin Luther King, Robert E. Lee holiday separation.
I'm not too good on
You're
that.
off that prediction list right there. But Elicia, I will come to you first. Tell me something I don't know. Give me a prediction.
Well, I'm still kind of hopped up on this whole gun bill thing. I'm still following it. I mean, it's just endless stories that are going to be happening here. On Friday, I covered the fact that you can carry your gun into an airport now, a municipal airport, all over the airport up until TSA. That is one exemption that they removed that I didn't hear a lot of people talking about.
Yeah.
So I think that one's very interesting. Also, it's fair to mention as well the FOIA stuff that's going on up at the state capitol. And another note on that, it's already happened, but you can't FOIA concealed carry. So, if an incident does happen, let's say a shooting, we won't be able to know, does this person have their enhanced concealed carry unless the police want to tell us.
Wow. All right, Wes.
Oh, I like that for you. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good prediction. I'm going to go more business politics kind of thing. I think that what we're going to see over the next 6 months or so, we're going to see some market kickback from all the things that are happening with the Trump administration in terms of the health care bill, the Trump budget. I think you're going to see the market has really, if you look at your 401k, you're just, I'm happy. I'm a happy person here. But I think over the next 6 or 7 months, a lot of that you've gained, you're going to get. You either need to sell now or you're going to lose it. So I think the market is going to take a little dive, especially with high interest rates. Interest rates are going to go up 2 or 3 more times this year. So that's my prediction.
All right, I think we got about 20 seconds left. I'll go on the record as saying right now we got a speaker's race that we really haven't been talking about. Representative Andy Davis, Representative Matthew Shepard, kind of the two guys jockeying for Jeremy Gilliam's spot. am hearing that Michelle Gray, State Representative Michelle Gray, may or may not get into that race. That could throw a little wrinkle in there. Too close to call right now is what I would predict on that speaker's race right now. They're both working it.
Andy.
I'm just
You think
saying.
he's
I've heard
gonna
it's
be
too
it?
close to call, and I worked a lot of sources on this. So we're going to find out, though, in a couple of weeks there. But I will
be
say
fun.
this. I think particularly those two guys that have been mentioned and have been out there hustling votes, I don't think that's a lose-lose either way. I think that's a win-win situation. Both of them good stand-up guys.
Yeah.
All right, Elicia Dover, Wes Brown, thank you both very much. All right. And thank you for watching. That is all for today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.